Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about the data. What is it? Digital data transmission. Data transmission, which is in the digital form. Data transmission, which is in the digital form. There is a reason why I am laughing for this is the material which we are having is a little bit not enough material, but as per your syllabus, we are going with this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll continue. No problem. Okay. So first, I'm just taking your material because I don't have the textbooks to get refer. Of course, as per your syllabus, we are moving. The thing is, whatever the methods which we are using for the explanation point of view, the material is not sufficient. I feel that the material is not sufficient, and I'll give the points. Here are somewhere. Just note down. Of course, this material is more than enough for your syllabus, as per your syllabus and for the exams. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, digital data transmission. So, data is nothing but the information. Information may be available in the form of the analog or the digital. Information may be available in the form of the analog or in the digital. Okay. So, analog form means the information which is continuously varying with respect to the time. The signal whose amplitude is varying. Simple case is the signal whose amplitude is varying continuously with respect to time is called as the analog signal. Digital signal is nothing but sometimes some of the people call it as a discrete signal, but I'll go in the different way. The thing is, digital is nothing but binary 0 or binary 1. We will take the binary 0 and binary 1 most of the cases, right? So the exact digital definition is the amplitude. It is a continuous signal only, but whose amplitude is quantized with respect to the y-axis is called as a digital signal. Whose amplitude is quantized with respect to the y-axis is called as a digital signal. That quantized value may be 0 or 1. That quantized value may be -1 or the +1. So this signal is called as a digital signal. Okay now. So analog signal is the continuous signal whose amplitude is varying in any fashion. The amplitude of the analog signal is varying in any fashion, but in case of the digital signal, amplitude is varying only within the given limits. +5 volts, -5 volts in some communication systems. -5 volts is treated as a binary 0. That purely depends on the type of the method which we are using. In general case, it is going to be the 0 volts or the 5 volts. 0 volts is nothing but the binary 0, 5 volts is nothing but the binary 1. But in other methods, we may take the -5 volts as a 0 volts. It purely depends on the different techniques which we are using in the digital communication actually. So analog signal is nothing but whose amplitude is what is that? Analog signal is nothing but whose amplitude is varying continuously with respect to the time is called as analog signal. Digital signal is nothing but whose amplitude is quantized. Quantized means fixed with respect to the y-axis. On the x-axis we are taking the time, and on the y-axis we are taking the amplitude. Obviously, that amplitude is going to be quantized with respect to the y-axis. Okay. So we are having the analog and the digital data. Now the question is how to convert the analog information into the digital format. How to convert the analog information into the digital format. Okay, wait. I'm just moving into your syllabus. Okay. Okay. So we are having the do's and don'ts with respect to the digital. Just go through the material. Okay. So I would like to send the information in terms of the digital data. I would like to send the information in the digital form, not in the analog form. So here the block diagram for sending the information. The block diagram of a digital data system is going to be source means the information which is there in the analog form. In order to send the information in the digital form, obviously we require the analog to digital converter. So analog to digital converter also, inside that one we are having the sampler and comparison operation every time. So which we have seen during the interfacing the transducer to the data acquisition systems. There we have taken the analog to digital multiplexer case. Analog to digital multiplexer case we have taken the comparator. So we just review that one. So we are having the analog to digital converter to convert the analog information into the digital format. So at the output of this block, we are having the information in terms of the pulse format. We are having the information in terms of the pulse format. Obviously we are supposed to, means if you want to send the information in the binary format, then you are going to use the encoder. If you are not interested, then directly you can perform the modulation operation. The pulses are going to be get modulated. But if you are interested in the binary format, then the pulse is converted into the binary combination with the help of the encoder, which we have seen in the PCM case. Same encoder, same type of encoder is going to be used over here. So at the output of this one, as if the distance is more length, means the length of the distance between the transmitter and receiver is more than a kilometer or higher than that, then we are going to use the modulation technique. Why we are supposed to use the modulation technique means you are having one formula called as the C is equals to the F lambda. So if you take that formula and go back to the modulation operation, why we are supposed to use the modulation, you will come to know that. I am just giving that one as a question because that purely depends on the antenna. Okay, without modulation also we can send the information, but that purely depends on the antenna height. So that is calculated with the help of the C is equals to the F lambda. I am not elaborating that one. Just go back to, means you just go to any modulation technique methods, there you will come across that. Okay, so we are having the modulator. So modulator means superimposing the modulation is nothing but simple format, not official one. Simple case, if you want to say, it is going to be the low intensity signal is going to be carried by the high intensity signal. Low intensity signal is going to be carried by the high intensity signal. Or in simple format, if you want official definition, then superimposing the low intensity signal onto the high intensity signal. Superimposing the low intensity signal on high intensity signal is called as a modulation. So we are having the what is that, analog information converted into the digital format using the analog to digital converter. So at the output of this one we are using what pulse format. We are having the pulse signal. Actually it is not the analog to digital converter. If you are taking the analog to digital converter, obviously you are supposed to have the binary combination. So here we are performing, if you are going more depth, here we are performing the sampling operation with the help of the switch. Means the continuous signal is converted into the discrete format to the pulse format. Continuous signal is converted into the discrete. So discrete means time slicing, sampling theorem which we have taken. The switch is going to be open, close, open, close, open, close. At the output we are going to get the amplitudes only. So for that I think I'll go back to the diagrams. Yeah, yeah, this format. Okay. So analog information is converted into the what is that, discrete format. This is the discrete one, and it is going to be fixed to a certain voltage level. Quantized means it is going to be fixed to a certain voltage. That purely depends on what is the amplitude of the this signal at this point. So that is called as a quantization value, and this quantized value is converted into the binary format with the help of the encoder. So we are having the analog information. Analog information is going to be converted into the discrete format, and the discrete information is quantized to a certain voltage level, and that output of this discrete quantized value is going to be given as an input to the what is that, encoder. The encoder is going to be convert the information from the pulse format into that is the discrete format into the what is that, binary combination. So that is what we are having in the what is that, encoder case. So we are having the modulator which is modulating and sending the information so to the channel. So if you go back to your means it is a continuation to the diagram. This is the transmitting end, what we are having. Wait. Somewhere, yeah, over here. So this is a transmitting block, and let me go back and come across the digital block, means the receiving block. So here we are having the to the channel. In the last slide we have taken to the channel. It is from the channel to the demodulator to demodulator. Separate the high frequency signal from the information signal, and the decoder which converts the information into the what is that? Yeah, it is a detector which is synchronizes the information, and the decoder is nothing but, if you are using the encoder there in the transmitting block, obviously you are supposed to have the decoder, because which is going to be converts the binary combination into the pulse format, and you are having the digital to analog converter, means again converting back and reconstructing the original signal in the analog form in the receiving end. Okay, at the receiving end you are trying to reconstruct the what is that, digital analog form. Reconstruct the digital information into the analog form which is transmitted from the transmitter. Okay now. So this is what we are having. That is the components of the yeah, we have taken this one, right? The explanation part. Sampling is nothing but a switch which is going to be open close controlled by the frequency. Let me tell you one important point is when you are going for the telemetering system, the sampling speed is going to be the 5 times the highest frequency. But if you are going to the normal case, normal pulse code modulation technique, then you are going to take the twice the highest frequency. It's called as a Nyquist rate or the sampling rate. Sampling rate should be the twice the highest frequency. But if you are going to the same sampling format in the telemetering system, it should be the 5 times the highest frequency component. Just remember that difference. Just remember the difference. So there is the explanation of individual block. And after that, converting the digital information to the converting the digital signal information to the digital. Digital to digital means digital data should be converted into the digital signal format. Digital data should be converted into the digital signal format. Digital data converting into the digital signal format is nothing but binary numbers are converted into the signals format, digital signal format. So there are different methods to convert the information from the digital to digital. Means digital data, that is a zeros and ones format information, converting into the digital signal, that is a signal format, from the binary combination binary format to the signal format. To do that one, what we are having is we are using a technique called as a line coding technique. We are using one technique called as a line coding technique. In this technique, we are having the sender is sending the information in terms of the digital data. Encoder is converting the digital data into the digital signal format. Decoder is converting back the digital data into the digital signal into the digital data format. Finally, at the end, we are going to receive this information. So it is a brief block diagram. So don't compare this one with the last diagrams. So just remember that in the line coding technique, one of the method is a line coding technique. In the line coding technique, we are able to convert the digital data information into the digital signal format. Digital data information into the digital signal format. Okay, now. So let me continue. So here we are having the line coding technique now. There I got a laugh. Okay. So line coding technique. In the line coding technique, there are three methods: unipolar, polar, bipolar. Unipolar, polar, bipolar. Unipolar means you are going to use only one pulse. Binary 1 is represented with the plus 5 volts. Binary 0 represented with the 0 volts. Binary 1 represented with the plus 5 volts. Binary 0 represented with the 0 volts. In this method. So what we are doing in the we are converting the digital data into the digital signal format. When you are converting that one, we are having the three different methods under the line coding. One is the unipolar, polar, bipolar. What exactly the unipolar means? Unipolar means binary 0 converted into the 0 volts. Binary 1 is converted into the plus 5 volts. And this method is also called as a non-return to 0 method. This method is called as a non-return to 0 method. NRZ. Simple case is a NRZ. Okay. So simple case is a NRZ. Another case is a polar method. But whatever the point which you are having in the material, I am not satisfying with that point, because the polar coding is quite different. Whatever the explanation which we are having in this material is going to be saying that we are involving one parity bit along with the actual data. I think all of us know that one, right? Involvement of the parity bit is nothing but in order to check the error occurrence during the transmission. In the receiving end, we are going to use the parity data and we are reconstructing the information. Okay, now. So the parity combination is used only for checking the error occurrence at the receiving end. But why this point come across, I don't know. But I have to refer the the textbook which is there for unit 4. But as per my knowledge, this is not the polar coding technique. So we are having the three techniques. One is the unipolar, polar, bipolar. In the unipolar, the binary 1 is represented with the help of the plus powers. The amplitude is equal to the plus powers. 0 is nothing but the 0 volts. So this method is also called as a non-return to 0 method. So non-return to 0 method. In short, we call it as a NRZ method. I'm having one data from the internet to define this polar technique. Yeah, this is what I'm having. I'll come to this bipolar scheme, but before that, let me go to the polar. This is what we're having, the polar technique. Polar schemes. there are two schemes. So one is the NRZL and another one is the NRZI. NRZL is nothing but the non-return zero level. NRZI is nothing but the non-return zero invert. Non-return zero invert. So this polar, this one comes under the polar technique. This one comes under the polar technique. So under this, here I would like to send one information. I would like to send one information, which is nothing but the 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. I would like to send one information, which is nothing but 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. One is a non-return NRZL. One technique is a NRZL. Another one is a NRZI. NRZL. It is only for the explanation to realize the concept. So while explaining the in the exam, you better check the textbook once. I don't have the textbook right now. You better check the textbook once, okay? Because how they define in the textbook, I don't know. How to check it out that one once. I don't have the textbook right now. So here, NRZL and NRZI. The above one is indicating the NRZL. NRZL. So here we are interested to send the 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Na? So I'm assuming that just before this pulse, just before this amplitude axis, I'm assuming that the amplitude of the signal is a high. Amplitude of the signal is a high. Amplitude of the signal is a high. So that's why this high voltages keep on continuing. Don't think that 0 is treated as a high. It is not like that. So we are assuming that this 0 is there, but just before this 0 occurrence, we are having the high voltage. That's why it is continuously used as a high voltage only. When there is a change, bit change, means 0 is after 0 we are having the 1 now. When there is a bit change, the amplitude is suddenly fall to the negative level, minus 5 volts. The amplitude is suddenly fall to the minus 5 volts. But next to the 1, we are having the 0, means again there is a bit change. If we are having the same bit, the same amplitude is going to be continued. If we are having the bit change to the next level, then the amplitude is going to be get inverted, get changed. So here it is a 1 now. So in the next bit position it is a 0. Because of that it is going to be high. Next bit position to this one is a 0. So these two bits are same. That's why the positive voltage is continued to the next bit level, up to the next bit level. So in the next bit case, during the next bit, next to the 0 is a 1 now. So this amplitude is get inverted. This amplitude is get inverted and it is becoming the 1. Okay, now it is becoming the 1. So next to this one, and next to this one is again 1. Next to this one is again 1. Because of that, this voltage is continued in the negative voltage range only. Negative voltage range only. Just remember, if we are having the 0 over here, it is going to be the 1. But what I am assuming is, just before this axis, there is a amplitude which is continuing with the high voltage. So 0 is there now. Means just before this one we are having the 0. For example, just before this one we are having the 0. That's why the amplitude is coming in the plus 5 volts range. So it is going to be get inverted into the minus 5 volts because of the 1. Means there is a bit change. It is not just because of the 1. It is a bit change. When there is a bit change, obviously the amplitude is going to be fall to the down. If there is a bit change, rise to the up. If there is a bit change, fall to the down. So that purely depends on the bit change. Nothing to do with the ones and zeros. Okay. So here it is a 1, 0. So 0 is continuous 1. That's why the amplitude is constant. Again, we come across the 1 now. So because of that, the what is that amplitude is down, and it is going to be continued as we are having the same ones, and it is going to be rise, change, inverted, changed or inverted. It is nothing but 0. Okay. So next to the 1 is nothing but 0. That's why it is going to be rise. Don't think that 0 means 1, 1 means 0 means plus 5 volts, 1 means minus 5 volts. It is not like that. It purely depends on the previous voltage status. If presently we are having the 0 and the 0 for 0, if we are having the 0 minus 5 volts amplitude, it is going to be raised if the next bit position is a 1. Okay, now remember that one. It is for NRZL and it is the NRZI. In the NRZI case is different. If we are having the same bits continuously, the signal is going to be getting inverted. If we are having the different signal next to the means the present bit is a 1, next bit is a 0, then the amplitude is going to be constant. It is not going to be get inverted. If there is a continuously same bit going to be used, then it is going to be inverted. So let me show you that one. Okay. So means on every one it is going to be inverted. On every one it is going to be inverted, not on zeros. In the next case, it is on every one, it is going to be inverted, not on zeros. On zeros, it is going to be continuous. On ones, it is going to be get inverted. That is nothing but the NRZI method. So again, here I am assuming that the previous data status, previous amplitude is a plus 5 volts. Previous amplitude is a plus 5 volts. And as we are coming across the first one, it is going to be get inverted into the one. It is going to be quite different mark. These two methods are not same. So which method you are using in converting the digital information into the what is the digital signal, digital data into the digital signal, that you are supposed to specify explicitly. Okay now. So in case of the NRZI, non-return to zero invert method, so it is going to be the 0 as there is a change, it is going to be the 1. But next to the 1, we don't have the ones. So that's why as we are having the zeros, this amplitude is going to be continued 1. Previously, upon every bit change, the amplitude is getting inverted. But in this case, upon every one, the amplitude is going to be get inverted. That's the difference. So if we are having the 0 in the down case, if we are having the 0, then the previous one status is going to be continued. So here we are having the 0 now. That's why this previous one is continued. Again, we are coming across the next one. So that's why it is going to be raised. The next bit to this one is a 1. That's why it gets inverted. Means upon every 1, whenever there is a 1 bit change appearance, at that time the amplitude is going to be discontinued. What is that? Inverted. If there is a 0, then the previous amplitude is going to be continued. So if you see this one, on the first one occurrence, it is going to be rise, and the next one occurrence, it is going to be fall, and on the next one occurrence, it is going to be raised again. And as we are having the 0, this amplitude is continued. So this is what we are having the polar scheme. That too, in the polar scheme we are having the different methods. No need to go through all those things. We are having the different methods. One is the non-return to 0 level, and one is the non-return to 0 inverter. Return to 0 method is also there, but I am not interested to explain all those things. It is not required for you in the exam point of view. Okay now. So the next case is, let us go for the bipolar scheme. Let us go for the bipolar scheme. Okay. So in the bipolar scheme also we are having the different methods of rising and the falling. I'm not going with this one. If you are going with this one now, because you will come across the 3 signals. So I'm not interested in the pseudo ternary. Okay, it is going to be the pseudo ternary. I'm not interested in that. So alternate mark inversion method. So in the bipolar scheme, 3 voltages are going to be used. One is the positive, negative, and the 0. So how it is going to be represented means, upon the first 0, it is also the inversion. But it is not the case just like the previous one. Means it is going to be quite different. So it is the 0 now. So 0 is going to be represented with the 0 only. Here we are having the 1 now. 1 is going to be the positive one. As we are having the 0, it is going to be fall down. And 0 means 0, binary 0 is represented with the 0 volts only in this case. But when we are having the ones, if the previous one is a positive, this one is going to be the negative. In the next coming the bits combination, if we are coming across the 1, it is going to be raised to the plus 5 volts. Okay, it is going to be raised to the plus 5 volts. If in this case, if the first one is a negative, if this first one is represented as a negative, then obviously this one should be represented in the positive case. This is a bipolar technique method. Okay now. So in the bipolar technique method, I am not going to the down one, means pseudo ternary. I am just going with the AMI, alternate mark inversion. Okay now. Alternate mark inversion means alternate ones are going to be inverted. Previous one is a plus 5 volts, means next coming one becomes a minus 5 volts. Next coming one becomes a plus 5 volts. Next coming one becomes a minus 5 volts. If in between these ones, alternate ones, if we are coming across a 0, it is going to be represented as a 0 volts only. So that is what we are having the bipolar scheme. It is a bipolar scheme. Okay, let me go back to the syllabus. So I would like to show that one. Okay, now polar means here they took the parity method, all those things. Polar coding is not the parity bit combination actually. So that's why I went back to the internet. From the internet I have shown that information. Okay. 411. Not sure how much. Okay. Next one is the analog to digital conversion. Okay. Next one is the analog to digital conversion. Here also same thing. When you would like to send analog information, using the digital signal format, not in the analog signal format. Then analog signal converter should be converted into the sample discrete signal. Discrete signal should be converted back into the encoder. Encoder is nothing but what we are using. We are using the binary combination. From the binary combination to the pulse format. Digital signal pulse format means we are using the pulse code modulation. In analog to digital conversion method, we are simply going with the pulse code modulation, which we already covered. The pulse code modulation is nothing but we are having the pulse form. Information is there in the pulse format that is converted into the digital format. That is going to be converted into the digital format. That is a binary combination using the encoders, and after that you can convert that back into the digital signal format. Binary bit to the digital bit combination. I'm not going to that because we are already seen that. Okay, this is what the pulse code modulation. Analog information is going to be sampled. Okay, analog information is going to be sampled, and the sampled information is going to be quantized to a particular voltage level. Quantization is nothing but fixing the amplitude of a sampled value to a particular voltage level in such a way that it is going to be equal to our encoder step size. It is going to be equal to our encoder step size. That is the intention of the quantization. Okay, quantization is nothing but bringing one amplitude to a fixed voltage level. Just remember that point in brief. Okay, so sampling here means we are using the switch that is not shown over here. So we are using the switch. So analog information is going to be sampled. Sampled information is going to be quantized, and quantized, obviously we know that the quantized information is going to be converted into the encoder with the help of the encoding techniques which we have seen. Okay, so the next case is digital to analog conversion. Digital to analog conversion means reconstructing the information for the end devices. Reconstructing the information for the end devices. There are different methods which we are having. Different methods when the data from one computer. Digital to analog conversion means when you would like to display the information on the analog devices, obviously we require the digital to analog conversion. Digital to analog conversion means, for example, if we are using the computer, inside the computer information is going to be stored inside in the digital form. If you are having the analog display, if you would like to represent this digital information on the analog display, obviously we are supposed to use the digital to analog converter. So there are different methods in the digital to analog conversion. I'm also a little funny in this also because these pulses are decided with some rules and regulations which is not described in the material. Okay, don't worry about those rules and regulations. We'll go with the material. Okay, don't worry about it because as as per the syllabus, and we'll go with this one. We are not going for defining the what the different types of digital data communications. We are not defining that in detail. We are not defining that one in detail. It is only a topic. Okay, we are simply going in brief. That's it. We are simply going in brief. Just remember that. So here we are having the digital to analog conversion. So digital to analog conversion, one of the method is the amplitude shift keying, ASK. Simple format is the ASK. If you want to get more information, you can Google it. But amplitude shift keying is nothing but binary 1 is represented with some signals. Binary 0 is nothing but the zeros. Binary 1 is nothing but it is having some amplitude, some signal peaks, and binary 1 is nothing but it is a 0 volts. Binary 1 is nothing but 0 volts. So simple case the 1 is represented with the two full cycles, and zeros are there. These are taking the number of full cycles purely depends on the some rules and regulations. I'm not going with that first. So it is a 1 0 1 0 1. Okay. So the next case is we are having the ASK is over, amplitude shift keying is over. So we are seeing in brief, not in detail. Okay, now next one is the frequency shift keying. Frequency shift keying is nothing but for the binary 1 we are having the high frequency, binary 0 low frequency, binary 1 high frequency, binary 0 low frequency. Means in this diagram we are having the vertical dash lines now, vertical dotted lines. The vertical dotted lines, in between the two vertical dotted lines we are having the high frequency and the low frequency, high frequency and the low frequency signal. High frequency signals are represented in the binary 1, low frequency signals are represented in the binary 0, and this one is called as a FSK, frequency shift key. One is the ASK, analog shift key, another one is the frequency shift key, amplitude shift key. ASK is nothing but the amplitude shift key, analog, not analog, amplitude shift key. FSK is nothing but the frequency shift key. I'm sorry. Okay. So the next case is we are having the PSK also, phase shift key. Yeah, we are having the PSK. We are having the PSK. So in the PSK also, binary 0 is represented with some signals. What is that? Analog signal. Binary 1 is also representing analog signal. But the difference between the binary 0, binary 1 is, if you see this one, here we are having the vertical line, here also we are having the vertical line. This from this end to this end, it is one binary 1. And if you start with this dotted lines to the next line, look at this. It is started with a 0 and it is started with a -1, means 180 degrees out of phase. With this, it is a 180 degrees out of phase. With this, it is a 180 degrees out of phase. Means binary 1 to binary 0, in case of the phase shift keying, PSK, simply we call it as a phase shift keying. Binary 1, binary 0, both are represented using the waveforms only, but there is a phase shift between the binary 1 the signal representation as well as the binary 0 signal representation, in simple short. Okay. So the next one is a what is that? Analog to analog conversion. That's the analog to analog conversion means we are having the modulation techniques: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, phase modulation. Amplitude modulation is nothing but, simply modulation is nothing but what is that? Modulation is nothing but superimposing the low frequency signal on the high frequency signal. Okay, simple format. Why we require the modulation? All those things we discussed already in the classroom. Here are some way, and I think for one batch I explained that frequency modulation also in the lab. So modulation is nothing but superimposing the low frequency signal on the high frequency signal. Superimposing the low frequency signal on the high frequency signal, depending on the carrier signal parameter. Means the carrier signal is having the amplitude, frequency, phase. So if means these are the three characteristics of the high frequency signals. That is the carrier signal. The carrier signal is having the amplitude, carrier signal is having the frequency, carrier signal is having the phase. If at all the carrier signal amplitude is changing because of the amplitude of the low frequency signal, that we call it as a information signal. As I don't have the board, I can't do anything, but just remember that amplitude signal means information signal is called as the low frequency signal. Low frequency signal is called as the information signal. So high frequency signal is called as the carrier signal. If the amplitude of the carrier signal is varying, because of the amplitude of the what is that information signal, because of the amplitude of the information signal, then it is called as a amplitude modulation. It is called as a amplitude modulation. Look at this one. We are having the amplitude modulation. Look at this. Here, this is the carrier frequency. This is the amplitude modulation signal, and we are having the information signal also. Yeah, information signal. Look at this one. The amplitude of the carrier is changing because of the amplitude of my information signal. This is the information signal. This is the high frequency signal, which is the carrier signal. Okay. So this is the modulated signal. Next one is the frequency signal. Frequency modulation. Frequency modulation means if the frequency of the carrier signal is varying because of the information signal amplitude. Because of the information signal amplitude. Because of the information signal amplitude. Because of the amplitude of the information signal, if the frequency of the carrier signal is varying, it is called as a frequency modulation. Because of the amplitude of the information signal, if the frequency of the carrier signal is varying, it is called as a frequency modulation. So this one is a frequency modulation. Look at this one. When we are having, it is not differentiated that much. When we are having the high peak, this is the carrier high frequency signal. The frequency is more when we are having the high peak. When we are having the low peak, frequency is less. Okay. So this is the frequency modulation. Phase modulation, obviously, the phase of the signal is going to be changes. Phase modulation. Okay. If the phase of the phase modulation, if the phase of the carrier signal is varying because of the amplitude of the information signal, it is called as the phase modulation. If the phase of the carrier signal is varying because of the amplitude of the information signal, it is called as a phase modulation. Three different modulations are there, and we are just having the brief explanation about the what is that modulation techniques, modulation methods. amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and the phase modulation. So with this, I think the fourth unit is over. I'll give you a brief explanation about the fourth unit once again in the next video. I'll make a video, another video. So on that, I'll explain a brief explanation. I'll give the brief explanation about each and every topic in the fourth unit. Okay. Thank you for now. And if you are having any doubts, you can post in the WhatsApp.